I was really hoping at some point someone would click and get it.
Mm-hmm.
But it seemed like I was trapped in like a conversation loop in like a Bethesda game. Because no matter how clearly I lined out the fact that it is a secret menu, it is not advertised anywhere, and I've never been to this area before in my life, how am I supposed to know? The response from the person would always be, but everyone knows about the secret menu. So far away, Lucas and lovely audience at home, what is your favourite bad movie?
So, maybe not my favourite bad movie, but maybe one of my favourite bad movie moments.
Okay.
Is just Lucas in the movie The Wizard, where he pulls out the Nintendo Power Glove and he's like, look at this power.
I love the Power Glove. It's so bad.
Is The Wizard the movie where they get rid of like the bad guy who's been chasing them by just hitting him with the Chris Hansen?
We're too late. He touched my breast!
What the hell are you doing?
No, I didn't.
I can't fully remember. The only thing I remember is that it's just an advert for Super Mario Bros. 3.
And the Power Glove, right?
And the Power
And
Glove,
the Power
yeah.
Glove, yeah.
It, like,
I'm almost positive The Wizard is the movie where like they're being chased by some bad guy, some generic goon from like, you know, a 90s movie. And just like the main character's friend, like this little girl, just hits him with the snitch finger and says, oh, that guy tried to touch me. And he just gets his ass whomped. It's like, you just ruined that guy's fucking life. Also, Nintendo signed off on that.
yeah, what the fuck?
You know what? Let's talk about another movie that's basically a thinly veiled advert for a company. Allegedly.
He touched my breast!
So Mac and Me is a movie that is pretty much only really known online due to the fact that it is widely considered to be one of the shittest movies ever made. And Luke, are you familiar with Mac and Me?
So I will contend that it's not only known for that, Karl.
Oh, there's the Paul Rudd thing, right? Is that what you're going to allude to?
That's the only thing I know about this movie is that Paul Rudd keeps bringing it to Conan O'Brien.
Let's show this clip from the final episode of Friends.
And it's something like every time Paul Rudd is asked to promote a movie on the Conan O'Brien show. Is it Conan O'Brien or Conan O'Brien?
I have no.
So it's like, obviously, we have Dara O'Brien over here, who's like an Irish comedian. So that's how I think it is pronounced, because he's Irish. But then Conan O'Brien, like, pronounced it O'Brien.
Right, maybe it's O'Brien then.
Yeah, that's how he chooses to pronounce it, at least in his shows that I've seen. But yeah, like, it's a running gag that Paul Rudd, every time he's like asking, he's on that show to promote a movie, just brings in the clip from Mac and Me of like the little kid in a wheelchair flying down a hill and going off a cliff. Which, fun fact, is a real hill and a real kid in a real wheelchair, because that kid had like spina bifida, I think.
Yeah, that was a real thing. They couldn't CGI that one.
And I do like as well that kid. I'll put his name on screen right now because I've not got it in the script. 'Cause it's not about that, but it's the only thing about Mac and Me that's actually worth noting, save for the fact it's shit and it's an advert for McDonald's, is that it is the only movie I'm aware of where a character is in a wheelchair, physically disabled, played by a physically disabled actor, where them being disabled is not a key plot point. The fact that the kid is in a wheelchair is never mentioned in the film by any character. And it's weird that the only film where I can think of that being the case is Mac and Me, this critically maligned cinematic turd. And the little kid who played, I think it's Jade Calgary, I just remember his name. It's Jade Calgary, I think. When they were doing like interviews and press for the movie, which was, I think, the only movie they ever appeared in. They were in like a couple of episodes of a TV show and they were like, in adverts. As you can imagine, it's the 90s. You've got fucking shit-ass journalists from the 90s who don't give a fuck. Like the same journalists who ask actresses why they're so fat now. Kept asking this little kids, so why are you in a wheelchair?
Let me ask you a question. I didn't ask Razor this, but I want to ask you. Do you ever feel sorry for yourself? Ever just really get so into just, self-pity or, kind of, why did this happen to me?
I had my moments when I was younger, but now, that I'm older, I don't have that as much.
And apparently Karl got so pissed off during like the press tour for that movie that every time he got asked, he'd say, Vietnam. And just stare the interviewer down until they stopped asking stupid fucking questions about his wheelchair. But yeah, he did a lot of his own stunts.
Gotta ask you this, did you do your own stunts?
Lots of them, but not all of them.
And was that you flying off the cliff?
No.
How about in the water?
Going down the hill.
That was he down the hill, though, right?
One, because they didn't have a stunt actor, because they didn't have the budget for it. But two, because when he got asked if he could do the stunt, he's like, yeah, what's the worst that can happen? I'm already in a wheelchair. And you've kind of got to respect that approach to life. And that's one of the reasons why it sucks that Mac and Me is the only movie I could think of with like a disabled actor playing a character who's not written to be disabled. So it seemed like that kid had a great sense of humour about like their lot in life and was very charismatic, but they just never got anything beyond Mac and Me.
Yeah, because I don't think I would have any idea what this movie was if it weren't for the fact that Paul Rudd made it a running gag.
And the reason that gag is so funny is because it's buck wild that a children's movie has a scene where a kid in a wheelchair flies off a cliff. But I do think it's worth pointing out that that is a real kid who's in a real wheelchair, and that the role wasn't written for a kid in a wheelchair. The role was just written as kid. And Calgary has talked about the fact that, yeah, this is the only role they ever auditioned for where they specifically didn't mention that, oh, it's a role for a kid in a wheelchair. It's just a role for a kid.
Can't remember what I'm thinking of at the moment, but I remember there being a movie where, like, you know, they cast a little person and it was not intended to be written for that role. It was just like, they just so happened to be little, like...
There's a couple of Peter Dinklage roles where, after Game of Thrones, people realised, wow, this dude's a really good actor. And he got cast in a lot of roles where it wasn't specifically written for someone of his stature. I think, for example, he played like Bolivar Trask in like one of the prequel X-Men movies, right? Which is really funny because in like the future Foxverse, it's played by a huge black dude. So it's like, wait, what happened to Trask in between movies? And if we're going to mention embarrassing movies in Peter Dinklage, you have to mention Tiptoes, which is the Gary Oldman movie where he plays a little person. And Gary Oldman spends the entire movie walking around on his knees with shoes sellotaped to them. And Peter Dinklage is in that movie, but it's before Peter Dinklage was discovered as a good actor. It's like, well, we can't have a little person playing the role of a little person. Let's let Gary Oldman do it. He played a Rastafarian once. This is nothing.
When the going gets rough, it's only the size of your heart that counts.
Would it really be that big of a deal if our kid was a dwarf?
You knocked up this great girl, and you didn't tell her that her baby's probably gonna be little. I'm not like you.
We are so cute and cuddly. Don't discriminate against us.
But, we'll move on from that now, Lucas, to continue with my intro. So, a lot of the critical apathy towards Mac and Me stems from the fact it is basically a 90-minute advert for McDonald's. To the point where I'd argue it's not even a movie. Like, technically, it is a movie in the most academic sense, but it'd be better categorised as mentioned, a commercial, an advertisement for McDonald's. So I'd argue it's more accurate to describe the movie as a 90-minute ad where the producers bend over backwards to gargle these salty grease-covered balls of Ronald McDonald.
Yeah, but it's hard to know where to, like, draw that line, right? Because you could say the same about, like, He-Man. You could say the same about the Super Mario Galaxy movie. Like, the new Spider-Man film with probably new outfits. Like, everything is something to sell something else.
Yeah. And how much does your runtime have to be dedicated to shilling a thing before you have to say, okay, this is not a movie, this is an advert? And interestingly, in regards to Mac and Me, the producers and McDonald's have long denied that the film is little more than a 90-minute advert for McDonald's. A bold claim to make when a quantifiable percentage of the film's runtime takes place in a McDonald's. And for anyone out there who's not familiar with Mac and Me, like Lucas, you said you've not watched the movie?
No, I've never seen this.
Have you seen E.T.?
Yeah, of
You've
course.
seen Mac
I
and Me,
know
yeah.
Mac. Look. Is it Mac? Is Mac the alien?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Mac looks like E.T., right?
Yeah, like if you've seen E.T., you've seen this movie. Like if you took the plot of E.T. and you know that thing in Friends where like Joey runs his resume through like a thesaurus and use it on every single word? Do that with the script for E.T. and then just shove in as many like allusions to McDonald's as you can, and you've got the plot of Mac and Me.
I think that might be one of my favourite French jokes, is when it signs off Baby Kangaroo Tribbiani.
It might be the best joke in Friends.
I don't think we can use this.
Why not?
Well, because you signed it Baby Kangaroo Tribbiani.
You're not supposed to use the thesaurus feature on every word. Why not? Signed, Baby Kangaroo Tribbiani. It's like, that joke is so good. I'm surprised it's in Friends. Because it's so much more clever than anything else in Friends. It feels like a joke someone else wrote that they just ripped off for Friends. So I can't think of another joke in the series that's that creative.
No, yeah, exactly. It literally feels like a joke that Conan would make.
Yeah. But, you know, getting back to Mac and Me and E.T., right? The basic plot of both movies is like a little kid finds and befriends an alien that looks like a fossilized donkey turd. But before we move on, if you are a fan of this channel, you'd like to support us further, you may notice if you scroll down just a little bit, not to the comments, but in between the comments and this video, you'll see around where it says Fact Fiend, there's a red line around it, it says live. That is a live stream of my personal favourite 100 videos from the golden era of Fact Fiend. You know, we're speaking about the Golden Archers, which is to say, they're the videos that I had on a hard drive in my house.
100 videos?
Yeah. So if you would like to go see an endless stream of Fact Fiend content, and I think all the videos are between like 10 and 15 minutes in length, because that's the length of the videos were made at the time, they will just be playing on an endless loop at the link either found below or by clicking on the live stream. And you can support the channel literally by doing nothing. You can support that stream on in the background, and I'll make money doing so. Yeah.
Okay.
Film doesn't really have a plot. It's more a series of excuses for characters to shuffle from location to location that just so happens to feature McDonald's branding. To the point where, as mentioned, there is a 4 to 5 minute long dance sequence that takes place entirely within a McDonald's, which, speaking of Friends, features a cameo from a pre-famed Jennifer Aniston.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like everyone always thinks Jennifer Aniston, her first movie role, it was that Leprechaun movie, right? It's like, no, it was Mac and Me. It's even more embarrassing than being in Leprechaun. Which, do you know what? I watched that like last year. Leprechaun's not a bad movie.
I don't think that's an embarrassing start, because there's so many actresses that get a start by like being the final girl in a horror movie.
Or just in a horror movie. Because horror movies, they're made on the cheap, and they don't tend to get established actors for horror movies, because, hey, it's a horror movie, chances are 90% of its cast is going to die. We don't want someone expensive. So there's a lot of actors who've cut their teeth in either horror movies or like one-off characters in like police procedurals where they're either going to be shot and killed or sent to prison by the end of the episode. It's a rite of passage for an actor. Like I say, it's really fun to watch like old movies or old TV shows, or not even old. Well, I guess they are. If it's like a show from the 90s, that's 30 years old. And just look for actors like, oh, they're famous now. Like, we talked about Buffy, didn't we, over on Wiki Weekends? Like you said, oh, Pedro Pascal turns up in one episode. Oh, little baby Pedro!
Like, just some vampire called like Edward or something. Like, Edward Cullen adjacent.
We did discuss that, right? How much did Buffy influence Twilight?
Probably quite a bit. And yeah, Pedro just turns up for one episode, gets murked, and it's like, yeah, that's one of Pedro Pascal's like earliest famous moments.
And I will try to track down Jennifer Aniston in that scene, because like there's not really the highest quality available clips of this movie on YouTube, and I'm not fucking paying for it. I'm not paying for an advert, fuck you. So I'll try and find the clip, and I'll try, if I spot Jennifer Aniston, I'll zoom in and show her now.
You're telling me, Karl, that people haven't clipped out every moment of the movie Mac and Me in HD?
Do you know what, right? I'm a big fan. There's an interview with, what's his name now? Don LaFontaine. He's known in the industry as the voice of God, and he is like the movie trailer voiceover guy. In a world.
Oh, yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. Terminator 2, Judgment Day. This time, he's back.
And he passed away a couple of years ago. And he did... The reason why you don't see trailers like that anymore is because when that guy died, every other voice actor in the industry is like, well, I don't really want to copy what Don did. So those kind of movie trailers sort of went away. And he was asked once, like, well, what do you do when you're, like, doing a voiceover for an obviously bad movie? And
every holiday season, there's one toy everyone has to have.
I want the Turbo Man action figure with the arms and legs that move.
LaFontaine mentioned that. Well, I don't get the full movie in front of me. I get a sizzle reel, some direction, and a script. But when I see that sizzle reel, and if it doesn't look great, I don't talk to the producer opposite me, feeding me my lines.
Sylvester Stallone, over the top.
I imagine that I'm speaking to the little kid who's going to have this as their favourite movie. That's who I'm speaking to.
Speed 2, cruise control.
How do you like your vacation so far?
And I've got to respect that. So I imagine there's probably someone out there who does have a fondness for this movie. They could
100%.
I'd hope they can acknowledge that it's not a good movie, but they can also simultaneously acknowledge that, yeah, but I liked it as a kid.
There is a lot of value in that. Like, when he's reeling off a trailer for like the movie like Battleship.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, I can't be thinking, goddamn, why are they making a movie about Battleship? It's like, no, I've got to hype this up to a kid who is going to think this is the coolest thing because there's a bunch of battleships on those.
Jim Carrey is... Do not go in there! Woo! Ace Ventura, Pet Detective.
Yeah. And that reminds me to an extent of another interview. Completely different industry now, books. And do you know like the Harlequin romance genre? Like you think like 80s, 90s, they're like the books with the painted cover with like, you know, the guy with like the rippling blouse torn open, sees like he's teasing his abs. Almost all of them were done by one dude, Fabio, the supermodel.
My, these seas are certainly heaving.
Well, no more than your bountiful bosom, milady.
What do you do when you're brought in for like the 4th time that day and they dress you up like a pirate king? What do you think when you're looking at the camera? And Fabio, you'd think he'd just say, oh, I don't give a shit. He's like, no. When I'm posing there, I'm not thinking about anyone in the room with me. I'm looking at the camera and I'm imagining that's the woman who's going to buy the book. I'm looking directly into the camera and I'm saying, with my eyes, with my demeanour, I am going to fuck you. And I really respect that approach to creating something. Of like, yeah, it's not great, but someone out there is going to enjoy this, and that's who it's being made for. Also, please don't clip that out. Please don't clip that out.
Please do.
No,
everyone, thanks.
I am going to fuck you.
Yeah, there's like been a big boom of like romantic novels lately.
Yeah, well, I was in a bookshop the other day because I was aware that the classic Harlequin romance style cover with the painted cover had kind of fallen by the wayside, and it was now actors, and they got actual actors in to take photos. I was walking through like Waterstones, just grabbing a coffee, and I saw that they're coming back now.
There is a big renaissance of those, as I say, romantasy novels
with the painted covers of like the handsome dude on the front.
I've seen a lot of painted couples like embracing one another, or like
that's like the
flirting with
one
another. Yeah,
the pirate king played by Fabio with his comely wench, who obviously the reader imagines that they are the comely wench with the heaving bosom, even if their bosom doesn't have to be so heaving and they're just a housewife who's bored. But you know what? Fabio was there.
Just Fabio was there, but not anymore. But like, yeah, they clearly got an equivalent of Fabio nowadays, because I just like, even when I'm just walking through like a supermarket,
you see them, right?
I just happen to walk past the books. I'm like, oh, there's so many of them.
My favourite is that you can clearly see like the shift in what like women find like attractive, but like, you know, that attractive in the sense that unattainable. Where like Fabio is like his long mane of hair, he's like his chest wider than a car door. Now it's some dude who looks like he's on Love Island.
Oh yeah,
you know, the neatly trimmed beard, the shaved head, the tattoos on one of his arms. Usually wearing a Henley top.
I still think the long hair is quite common, but yeah.
Bring it back to Mac and Me. No doubt, if you are familiar with the movie at all, you are aware of the fact that it is a thinly veiled advertisement for McDonald's, and you're probably aware of the more direct allusions to the brand. As mentioned, there is a 5-minute long dance sequence set entirely within a McDonald's. But the thing that makes this movie so interesting to talk about is it's not just the obvious stuff. McDonald's is in literally every single scene. For example, there is a character who works at McDonald's. And they appear in I think they enter like the main party like halfway through the story, and they just so happen to wear their McDonald's uniform in every scene they're in. Meaning that the Golden Archers are literally in every single scene. But there's more to it than that. Because that already is like, that's pretty on the nose. Like, you've got to respect the goal, right? Of, well, we've got a scene set in a McDonald's, but we want more McDonald's. How do we do that? How about a character we just say they work at McDonald's, and they wear their uniforms? That way McDonald's is always on screen when they're at McDonald's.
That is another level, because like a couple of examples I was thinking of is like in Loki season 2, I think it is. There's like
the scene in 80s McDonald's. That's the cleanest fucking McDonald's I've ever seen.
The cleanest, right? And then there's also like Pulp Fiction, for example, where he's talking about like the Royale with cheese or whatever.
A Royale with cheese.
There's bits like that, but having a character in McDonald's uniform is like another level.
But there's more subtle stuff than that most people probably missed because of how dicks out brazen the other stuff is, like, for example, having a character wear a McDonald's uniform in every scene they're in.
Mm-hmm.
For example, the impetus for a story, essentially the entire reason the film's plot happens, is because the main character's mother gets a job at Sears. And you might think, okay, was that just more ball washing for another large corporate entity, in this case, Sears? No, it's not. It's actually yet another allusion to McDonald's, because at the time the film was made, Sears and McDonald's had a collaboration to make a series of children's clothes.
The clothes can actually be fun. And the getting dressed might even be the best part of the day. What could bring about such a surprising change?
Ready, Tom? Hey, you sure got dressed fast.
McKids, exclusively at Sears.
What do McKids' clothes look like?
Lucas,
what?
the 90s was a fucking wild time, man. McDonald's had a kids line.
It's perhaps the brightest, most colorful collection of children's clothes ever seen. But what you see there will depend entirely on how old you are
Ernie, Lisa, see anything else you like?
and how closely you look.
Nice place, don't you think?
McKids, exclusively at Sears.
And no, they didn't have the golden arches on them. It's just McDonald's was trying to become a lifestyle brand. It's like, oh, we're going to make our own line of children's clothing for the kids. Because you're that really insidious thing that McDonald's did, where it's like, we don't want to just be the place kids go for a burger once every other week when they've been good at school. We want it to be a destination parents take them to. We want it to be a place that kids beg to go. We're going to put like the play area in there. We're going to have like the colourful mascot. We're going to arrange birthday parties there. We're going to have Ronald McDonald go to schools and encourage reading. But when they finish all their books, they get a free voucher for a McDonald's, which their parents have got to take them to because it's got to be used in the week. We're going to have a kids line, so even when they're not at McDonald's, they're fucking repping the brand.
Yeah, so I don't think Ronald McDonald is as much of a staple over here, but like, you know, I loved like the kids zone or whatever it was called.
I always get weirded out when you see people our age get nostalgic for that, of like, oh, remember when in McDonald's you go play like a GameCube? It's like, that's dystopian as fuck, and I'm glad we don't have it anymore.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie,
it was cool that it was a GameCube, and I get it, your memories of being a child are fondly held ones, but it's weird that people get nostalgic and actively want McDonald's to return to a time when they were like influencing children in that way. It's like, it's dystopian as fuck. We've not done yet with the allusions to McDonald's. Then we have the titular Mac, which stands for Mysterious Alien Creature and is in no way a reference to a particular brand of burger carried by the chain. It's pure coincidence.
Yeah, no, there's no way that the word Mac would be associated with McDonald's.
And the reason why Mac, the mysterious alien creature, heads to Earth is because he and his family of shitty-looking aliens are really thirsty. And you think they're going to find water, right? But water is not as satiating as, say, a cool, crisp Coca-Cola.
Fuck off.
So,
that's not true.
Lucas, I'm not kidding when I say Coca-Cola literally saves the life of Mac and his family, because a plot point, like, you know, the converging plot point is that Mac is with the little kid and his family are looking for him. They're going through the desert, but then they become very parched and it's like, oh no, my little Mac's family are dying. How are we going to save them? I know, crisp diet Coke. No, sorry, not diet.
No.
This is the 80s. No fucking diet drinks in the 80s. Fuck you. Full sugar Coke directly down that alien gullet.
No, you're lying to me.
And this nectar of the gods immediately revives Mac's family, who are so entranced by this delicious brown sugary fluid that they rush to a nearby store to buy more.
That can't. No. I refuse to accept that that's what
And that's the thing, people know about this movie. They don't know how insidious the messaging and how deep all of, like, no, fuck you, buy McDonald's goes. Like, imagine you're a little kid watching this and it's like you see like this dying fucking alien that you're going attached to because you're a kid and you're stupid and you don't know any better. It's like, oh no, how are they going to say pour fucking Coca-Cola directly down its dying gullet?
That's insane.
Like, I'm honestly surprised there's not a cut scene where they try and do it with Pepsi and the alien explodes.
Like the like twin that they don't talk about happened to drink Pepsi first and died, and I guess we shouldn't drink the poisonous Pepsi, drink the sweet savory Coca-Cola.
It's like, thing is though, like, what's worse, Coca-Cola suggesting to children that, like, oh, their like little alien friend will die unless he drinks as much Coca-Cola as possible, or Like, is it Kendall Jenner insinuating that Pepsi stops, like, racial bias among the police force?
That was even worse.
Like, 'cause people don't know, like, you probably saw it parodied in The Boys, and the original advert has been scrubbed from the internet, which is why I can show you a clip of it in HD right now. It's like Kendall Jenner, like this generic protest, which is so. Keep in mind this edge on like the Black Lives Matter protest. It's like, no, we can stop the police from shooting black people by giving them Pepsi.
Pepsi will stop all warfare, don't worry.
It's amazing that The Boys parody of that somehow had more life in A-Train's eyes than Kendall Jenner, because Kendall Jenner can't fucking emote because she has no emotion there.
Because at least A-Train, like, acknowledged that it was dumb as shit.
What's your favourite part?
At least A-Train cared.
I think my favourite part of that is where A-Train just says this matters, but specifically doesn't outline what it is that matters, so they don't upset any particular demographic.
A-Train, where are you going? Almost ready to shoot.
This is important.
It's the most genius part of that advert, that they don't specifically say what the protest is for, because if they did, they might upset somebody. So it's just a generic protest for peace, and A-Train doesn't explicitly say what he's in support of, he just says, this matters.
Yeah, A-Train is just like, I am a fan of peace. Peace in general. Not a specific cause, just peace.
This is important.
Try to sell like your shitty fucking soda. And speaking of which, when I said like, oh, Pepsi might cause the aliens to die, that's a bit too harsh. That's obviously a joke. I'm alluding to an actual deleted scene where the FBI, the FBI chase, is it the FBI or the government chases E.T.?
Yeah.
Well, like they're chasing down like E.T. and his friends. And Steven Spielberg realised, it's probably a bad optics for the government agents to be carrying fucking guns. Like, they're going to gun down these children. So he, like, used CGI to replace the guns with walkie-talkies.
Yeah.
In Mac and Me, there was an actual deleted scene of the FBI trying to shoot Mac, but they miss and hit the kid. And Mac uses powers to bring the kid back. But keep in mind, like, the main character, the little kid, is in a wheelchair, which results in a shot of the kid's lifeless body wheeling his way towards the cops. Why doesn't Paul Rudd show that scene?
I'm very glad that was a deleted scene.
And I respect the movie so much more if they kept that scene in, and rather than having Mac use his like alien ET powers to heal him, like try to pour Coca-Cola down his throat, and it didn't work.
Well, it saved me. What was the problem?
But we're not done with the McDonald's connections yet. Right? And for anyone wondering about the connection between Coca-Cola and McDonald's, it's like McDonald's exclusively carries Coca-Cola in all its restaurants.
Yeah, like, if you try and go into McDonald's and ask for a Pepsi, they will shoot you, even if you're in a wheelchair.
That reminds me of, I was in Chicago, and there's a place called Gene and Jude's, and it's this famous like hot dog place. And I remember like, there were some really nice hot dogs, but apparently they get really up their own arse about the fact that hot dogs don't have ketchup on them. And if you ask for ketchup, they like really derisively go, we don't do ketchup on hot dogs here. And it's to the point where the McDonald's next door charges for ketchup because of the amount of tourists who come in, buy a hot dog, realise it's not got ketchup on it, and just goes to the McDonald's next door to try and get some free ketchup.
The literal picturesque hot dog is got the swirly little ketchup and mayo on it.
But I remember when I said, like, oh, when they asked me, like, what do you want on your hot dog? I went, oh, well, I'll have ketchup and mustard. I went, we don't do ketchup. And everyone in the line sighed when I said it. I'm like, how am I supposed to fucking know?
What the hell?
That reminds me of when I went to Los Angeles. And while I was there, everyone kept saying, you need to get In-N-Out burger. So I ordered In-N-Out burger. And I ate it, and it was okay. And when people asked me, apparently everyone in LA is like, you've got to eat In-N-Out. It was all right. Well, did you order off the secret menu? I went, no, what's that? How do you not know about the secret menu?
It's a secret.
And I remember having that exact conversation about a dozen times when I was like meeting people out and have you eaten In-N-Out? Yeah, I didn't really like it that much. Well, did you order off the secret menu? No. Why? Everyone knows about the secret menu. How am I supposed to know about something called the secret fucking menu? Well, everyone knows about the secret menu. I don't fucking know. I'm not from here. And they legitimately got mad that I didn't know about the secret menu. It's like, I don't know what that is.
It's literally in the name.
And it's to the point where, and the reason I'm getting so animated about it is because I had that argument like a dozen times. By the last time I had it, I was like, how am I supposed to fucking know there's a secret menu if they don't advertise it? And I was really hoping at some point someone would click and get it. But it seemed like I was trapped in like a conversation loop in like a Bethesda game. Because no matter how Clearly, I lined out the fact that it is a secret menu. It is not advertised anywhere, and I've never been to this area before in my life. How am I supposed to know? The response from the person would always be, but everyone knows about the secret menu. They just couldn't fathom the idea that someone came from further away than Los Angeles.
Don't 100% know, but I thought that people rave about like the In-N-Out fries,
Animal
not
fries.
necessarily the burgers.
It's the animal fries. And Joe, what they're on, Lucas? The secret menu. So when I said, hey, the fries were fine, would you get animal fries? What are they? Well, it's on the secret menu. What's the secret menu? And then it started again. So let's move on now, because we're not done with the connections between McDonald's and this movie yet. Because Ronald McDonald had his greasy, fat fingers on every aspect of production, to the point where he's even in the trailer.
Hi, kids. It's me, Ronald McDonald, and I'm on the set of my very first motion picture ever. It's a movie called Mac and Me, and it stars my little friend from outer space here. His name is Mac.
And the trailer for this movie is Ronald McDonald, like the immortal mascot god of McDonald's, walking out, reading a copy of the script, which is in McDonald's yellow and red, laughing with a coy grin. That's to say, yeah, the fuck you gonna do about it?
I mean, at that point, how can you deny that it's an advert for McDonald's?
And Lucas, this shows like the mental wavelength we're on, because the next line in the script is, now with all that in mind, it would take some seriously massive balls to deny that McDonald's had anything to do with the film's production. And it's worth pointing out that this is literally the only movie production ever to have ever featured Ronald McDonald as a character. Ronald McDonald has never appeared officially in any other movie.
But he's appeared in like adverts
for McDonald's.
Right?
McDonald's have never licensed out Ronald McDonald's appearance to any other movie production ever. He has only ever appeared in official adverts and Mac and Me, which is what makes it doubly hilarious that it sounds like we had nothing to do with production.
Nothing. No.
But somehow, despite all of this, the film's producers and other key creatives, which I've got to put that in quotes because no one involved in production was creative, have denied that McDonald's had anything to do with it. In fact, according to one producer, RJ Lewis, has maintained that McDonald's did not approach production. He approached them.
He approached McDonald's.
Which suggests that if they'd have said no, they'd have still made the movie. But with so much of the movie being reliant on McDonald's and things associated with McDonald's, what would be left? Like if you cut McDonald's out of this movie, you'd literally be removing one character from the film, because them working at McDonald's is a plot point. Coca-Cola is a plot point. You've got to remove that. You've got to remove the dance number from McDonald's, which is the only like interesting scene in the movie, save for the scene where the kid flies down a hill.
What's he doing?
You have to change the impetus of the plot of the mother getting a job at Sears, like a store that at the time was doing quite well. Not anymore, it's fucking dead.
Right. Well, they had the McDonald's clothing at the time.
Yeah. And
just because you approach them, if I ask McDonald's, like, can I make an advert for you? It doesn't stop it being an advert.
No. And Lewis has long maintained that, I have it here, the chain had no financial input on the film and no say on its content, which I call fucking bullshit on. Bullshit of like, no brand, especially one as protective of its IP as McDonald's, is going to just let you have their branding. They're not going to say, yeah, you can use our branding in your film and not have their fingers in every aspect of production to make sure it's portrayed in the right way. Like, Coca-Cola.
Just going to let you have a 5-minute scene inside of a McDonald's.
Without any creative input from ourselves, right? Like, keep in mind, like, Coca-Cola. Well, every time you see Coca-Cola in a movie, they have to have, like, the branding and the can directly at the camera. And you know that's because someone from Coca-Cola's like, well, the branding's got to be towards the camera.
I've got to make sure I drink like this.
It's like, but no one holds a can like that unless they've got fucking, like, I don't know, arthritis or some shit. So, no, but the branding's got to be towards the camera. That's how pedantic brands are, and we're to believe that McDonald's like, no, it's fine. Do what you want. Also, no financial input on the film.
I just realised I'm drinking a can off camera. Karl saw me pointing the brand at my camera.
I've got something brand. I don't think I've got anything fucking branded on it. I've got my mug, got my Karl mug. It says like, I'm Karl, I'm a little monster. So I've like, but this is like, it's a mug, it's designed to be shown from this way. But if I exclusively drank it like I'm like doing the scene in Hot Fuzz, that's how pedantic brands will be when it comes to portrayal of their brand in a film. And I don't believe for 1 second that McDonald's weren't like, you know, poring over every fucking frame of that thing.
No, exactly
but
right.
Lewis maintained that the film was not a glorified ad for McDonald's and was a genuine expression of creative intent.
passion project, Carl.
Well, you know this as well because the previous projects that Lewis had worked on included working on advertising for McDonald's. And that's the balls to say no. So, okay, fair. Okay, so it's a genuine expression of your creative intent. What did you do before this? Oh, I made adverts for McDonald's. Well, we're not done, Lucas, because when Lewis was asked, okay, so who did fund the movie? It's like, well, one, the production studio, Orion, who also made RoboCop, so, you know, 2 fucking bangers right there. And
thank you for your cooperation.
And also a company called Golden State Foods.
There's got to be something to do with McDonald's, right?
Right from the name, right? Look, you got it in one,
Yeah.
because Golden State Foods were a food distribution business who, at the time, had literally a single client. Do you want to guess who that client was?
Burger King.
No, it was McDonald's. And they funded the movie, partially. That allowed Lewis to wash his hands of this situation. Like, well, McDonald's had no financial input on the movie. A company that exclusively supplies them does, but that's a different story.
That's not McDonald's.
And Lewis heroically maintained that the film was not meant to advertise McDonald's, and he claimed instead that the movie was not a potential advertising vector, but a promotional tool for the McDonald's in-house charity, the Ronald McDonald House. And it's to the point where a bunch of the film's profits were earmarked for being donated to the Ronald McDonald House, which I'd say still benefits McDonald's, both financially and from a branding perspective. Because it gives them that goodwill. It still allows them to put their branding front and centre while also claiming moral superiority.
Exactly right. If it's not financially benefiting McDonald's, it's still benefiting their branding and their PR.
Them having this deal allowed them to save a bunch of money, because I have it here. The film's director agreed to work for less than their usual rate, and even agreed to rewrite the movie because the script was terrible, for less than his usual rate, because he thought it was all going to charity. And a good chunk of the profits did go to charity. This movie made almost no money.
And also, I presume that in whatever roundabout way it can be used as tax write-off as well.
There's all sorts of nonsense you can do when it comes to owning your own charitable organisation. But Lucas, we're not done yet, because eventually McDonald's, the corporation, got annoyed with this deal. Do you think, surely they got the sweetest deal ever? They basically get 90 minutes of their branding being on screen. They've got their branding displayed prominently in almost every single scene. McDonald's looks like a fun place to be. Coca-Cola heals the wounds of dead aliens. Fucking sick. But at some point during production, the filmmakers convinced Disney to agree to a cross-promotional deal. And McDonald's have been wanting to team up with Disney for fucking years, because it's Disney.
It's Disney.
It's Disney. But McDonald's weren't able to exploit and take full advantage of that deal until their commitment to advertising Mac and Me, one of the worst movies ever made, had finished. And the only way that they could keep the deal with Disney was to fully, fulfill their obligations to promoting this piece of shit movie by having standees in their store and Happy Meal toys.
So they tank that promotion to then get the deal with Disney.
And they were apparently really mad because if we want the Disney deal, we don't want this. Which makes it really funny that after a certain point, McDonald's were trying as hard as they could to weasel out of any obligation to a movie that basically existed, allegedly, to do nothing but promote their brand.
Allegedly.
And just the idea that the movie everybody knows as the McDonald's movie, McDonald's wanted fucking nothing to do with it. Do you know the funniest bit as well? So I looked for the hard drive. It says Fact Fiend on it. That's it.
Right,
that's every Fact Fiend video ever. It's fucking weird, isn't it? Well, it's a hard drive, but this has got every Fact Fiend video ever on it.
No, it's a box.
I've got more as well.
It's all box with all the
I've got more hard drives. Let's have a look. I've got this one.
Oh, you've got so many.
This one. This is... That's plain, so I think that's empty. I've got this one, which looks exactly the same, but it says games on there. So that is when we have that gaming channel. That's every playthrough saved in HD on that one. There's this one, which also looks the same. On the back it says that's Wiki Weekends. That's Wiki Weekends on there. We've got this one. This is Fact Fiend Archives Full. This is all the artwork, music, assets, collaboration stuff we've done, like cross-promotion, t-shirts, stuff like that. That's all on there. We've got this one, which is my writing archives. So that's like every script I've ever written, saved, and that's on there.
You can tell because that one's clearly
It's
older.
the oldest one. So like when I had like old work laptops and stuff, it's like, I think it's the laptop, it's the hard drive from an old work laptop transferred into here. Then there's this one, and that is all of those on here, just in case I lose those. And I keep them all in the same box. So if I lose them, I'm fucked anyway. And people might think, did you just pick up the same hard drive 5 times there? No.
And, you know, also keep an eye out, just because Karl and I want to do more gaming-related stuff in the future.
We'll do a shit ton in the future, right? We've got lots of plans. I just like the idea that I can just hold all this and, like, that's everything I've ever worked on in my entire life.
You can fit in your hand. That's so weird.
At some point, I'm going to do a Terry Pratchett. And I really like that when Terry Pratchett died, he had a bunch of unpublished work, all saved on like various hard drives. And he told like one of his best friends, and when I die, take all of my unpublished work, all the hard drives, and run them over a steamroller.
Oh, I thought you were going to say release every single time we've had to cut a joke for going too far.
Well, that's the thing. I think one of those hard drives has the original raw cuts of all the Fact Fiend videos. So at some point, I might release a stream of those. Maybe it'll be a separate stream. Maybe I'll change up the stream every now and again. But at the moment, it is just like, 100 or so videos that I just like, what are the ones with the most views that I can gain quick access to? Because like some of them are buried so far in the files that I can't track them down.
Also, to clarify, I don't think we've ever made jokes bad enough to cut.
No, but we have made jokes that were bad, in the sense that they weren't funny.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And there are raw cuts of videos that have like an extra like 30 to 40 minutes of footage in there, because when we were recording them, we just got really, really drunk and left everything in. If you'd like to see those, let us know in the comments section below. But otherwise, you can check that out if you want to support the channel, or just you want some background noise. I know a lot of people watch Fact Fiend as background noise. There you go.
Hell yeah.
Right, maybe we get that Wolfpack tech going on, right? That's the band who released an entirely silent album on Spotify and just encouraged their fans to listen to it, and it made them a bunch of money to go on tour. That'll help fund Fact Fiend and future endeavours. My favourite fact about that Wolfpack thing is that they released a silent album and then released a special edition that was instrumental. Either way, cheers to watching everybody, and get back to the regular show content.